Introduction. For thousands of years, the Hindu astrologers have, by their knowledge of the solar system, been enabled to formulate a system of astrology, which enables them to speak with scientific authority and certainty with respect to the planetary influences upon mankind. Each person is born in or under one of the 12 signs of the zodiac, and is thus influenced more or less throughout life by the planetary conditions at time of birth. In this work, I propose to state the natural tendencies of each person, and in a certain way indicate what they should do and what they should not do to make their life a success. By referring to your sign, which is indicated by the date and month when you were born, you will see what your natural tendencies are and what it is best for you to do to attract and use unseen forces and powers which are your birthright and which will aid you to make your future bright. Each and every person is naturally endowed with peculiar and great powers which make for good, and also are born with tendencies which must be corrected in order that the higher and good powers and forces may be able to work to advantage. No matter how bad your lot may seem to you, and how difficult it is for you to get along in the world, you can readily change all darkness to the brightest sunshine if you only go about it in the right spirit. The first step to take is to fix in your mind a strong desire for what you wish, and persistently and patiently hold this desire until you get it fulfilled. In India, men, through the advice of eminent astrologers, will have an aspiration to accomplish a certain thing, and will persistently hold and believe they will be successful in attaining what they desire until they get their aspiration satisfied. There are 3 things absolutely essential to happiness and which will always bring success, viz., hope, patience, and determination. Persistent determination to reach success. When we learn to exercise our mind and will on hope, patience, and determination, we find a wide door open to permanent health, wealth, honor, and happiness. One who grumbles and complains and whines and murmurs because others are successful will never have fair fortune smile. The unseen powers cannot and will not help any soul who whines, complains, and murmurs in a world that is filled with health, wealth, and happiness. The grumbler and complainer is never loved. No one desires to help such a being. Indeed, the world leaves no use for such persons, as they are repulsive. Their natures are poisoned with pessimism, and they repel and drive from them constantly millions of good things. The devas, angels, can and do help the bright and cheerful ones who are full of hope and aspire to great and good things, while the lazy, indolent, and whining beings are surrounded by low and degrading forces, which keep them always from everything that is good in this world of good things. There is a cause for every effect. There is a reason why some men and women are successful, and a reason why others are sick and worried and poverty-stricken, miserable and unhappy. No one can reach success or happiness until he or she first calmly, yet with grim determination, says, "I will be what I will to be. My life must be one of success and happiness. My mistakes and errors will not discourage me, but I will profit by them and make them serve as stepping stones to truth and success." It is always wise to calmly reflect upon the past, but very unwise and exceedingly foolish and weakening to brood or worry about the missteps we have taken. No matter what happens to you, keep a cheerful and hopeful mind, and you will eventually succeed beyond all your fondest expectations. Health, success, and happiness is always abundantly measured out by the higher and unseen powers to those who are persistently patient, hopeful, and courageous. No matter what one of the 12 signs of the zodiac you are born under, you can develop into a good and successful person if you will pay strict attention to the golden truths printed in this book. Scarcely one person of the large and growing human family pay enough attention to questions bearing upon individual happiness, prosperity, harmony, and health. This book should be read many times and carefully studied because it contains vital truths respecting our well-being. It suggests to an open and aspiring mind the tremendous power of the will, which, if intelligently exercised, can do wonders. Anyone with a little mental effort can train and develop the will just as easy as we can train and develop the muscles by persistent physical exercise. The moment we fully and vitally realize who and what we are, we then begin to build our own world even as God builds his. As long as one thinks he is weak, that he is a poor worm of the dust, that he has no chance, that his fate is to be whirled hither and thither by forces over which he has no control, just that long he will be at the mercy of such forces. But I tell you, everyone can control these forces and powers and can accomplish grand results the very moment he cleanses his mind of fear and doubt about his ability to succeed. As a man thinks, so he will be. Continually think disease, and you will continually be weak and sick. Continually think poverty, and you will continually be poverty-stricken. These are truths, absolute truths. We must strenuously strive to be sound, helpful, and sensible. We must be strong, self-reliant, self-supporting, and not dependent. Servile dependence in money matters is no longer deemed honorable. Poverty cannot bring happiness. To abolish poverty, we must work with faith and hope and banish once and for all time any and all fears of failure, worry about the past, or apprehension about the future. We must live intensely in the present, let go the past, and the future will take care of itself. We are all masters of our own fate. Fools believe in luck and chance. Each one occupies a good place in the universal zodiac, and all our sufferings are due entirely to a lack of knowledge and wisdom. Now, my sole aim in writing this book is to wake people up out of the delusions in which they live. I tell you all, you are greater beings than you imagine you are. That your dormant or latent powers and forces are great and wonderful. That you, and you alone, limit yourself and suffer because you will not rouse yourself to the grand truth which wise and good men have taught for thousands of years, namely, that you are all the children of one great loving Father who is ever trying to point you the way to eternal happiness through the yogis, adepts, and masters who are the mediums through whom God, the Blessed Father, works to help his children. There is a good time coming for all of us, and we can hasten that time by a little thought. Blessed be all the yogis, Sankaras, Vidyaranya, and King Sudhanva, and blessed be all the readers of my books, and may joy, peace, health, prosperity, and happiness come to all beings on this planet. Capricorn. All persons born from December 21st to January 19th, inclusive, were born under the sign of Capricorn. This is the last sign of the Earth triplicity and is the dark or mysterious sign of the Earth. It will be well for you to study, read much, and do a lot of thinking. Many professional men and women come out of this sign, especially orators, lecturers, and teachers. Education and knowledge of all kinds will be very beneficial for you. Work hard at one thing at a time and don't try to accomplish too many things in a given time. Act as you think best and don't permit anyone to run your affairs. By attending strictly to your own business and not meddling or interfering with the affairs of others, you will become very successful. At times, you are liable to become blue and depressed. Really, there is no cause for any Capricorn person to ever feel dejected or disheartened, as everything good in the universe is attracted to this sign. By being kind, gentle, noble, and generous, you will become very magnetic and charming, and people will love you, especially those of the opposite sex. You also have wonderful hypnotic powers, which can be brought to a very high degree of development by always being patient and never allowing yourself to become angry or to feel envious or jealous of others. Both your magnetic and hypnotic powers will lead you to wealth and success. Be careful of your money and don't try to help others too much. Always keep well informed of the progress of the world and keep your mind open, broad, and tolerant, respecting the opinion of others even if you don't believe in them. Always put your whole heart, soul, and energy into everything you undertake, no matter if the undertaking is a small one. I know your nature is to do large and great things, and that is all right. But ever remember, if you do the smallest thing in the world successfully, it will put you in a position to do something better and greater. All Capricorn people ought to have a good business education and should ever strive to acquire and save money. I don't mean to be stingy, mean, or pernicious about money matters, because no one in this great and wonderful age will be much of a success who is not liberal and broad-minded with respect to money matters. The women of this sign are very sensible, practical, and lovable. They make excellent wives, managers of homes, and housekeepers of large institutions. Music to you is very beneficial. Some excellent singers, musicians, actors, and actresses come out of this sign. Enjoy yourself all you can in a rational and sensible way, such as attending social gatherings, entertainments, concerts, lectures, and public meetings. Be moderate and temperate in all you do, and your success and happiness is assured. Never doubt your ability to amass money in any line of work which you really love. It is foolish for you to engage in work that is utterly distasteful to you, and in which you cannot willingly put your whole heart, head, and soul. Ever remember that while wealth is a great thing to have, there are other equally as great things for you to acquire, viz., perfect health and a thorough cultivation of your mind and higher nature. Don't be proud, arrogant, or dictatorial. Remember, we are all of one family and that we are all God's children. It is difficult to get Capricorn people to give much time to the cultivation of the spiritual side of their natures. Yet, when once aroused in this respect, they often become enthusiastic and earnest workers in religious causes. Right here, I desire to state that it will be well for you to remember. Right here, I desire to state that it will be well for you to remember that without any exception, every great and true man and woman in all history was a lover of God and obeyed the divine law. You may question this, but look into the matter fairly, deeply, and honestly, and you will find my statement is the absolute truth. Avoid being skeptical or pessimistic. Don't talk too much, but be a good listener. You can become a very good and useful citizen by holding in your mind high and noble thoughts and keeping well balanced. When a Capricorn person can fully control their mind so that he or she will not be angry and free from worry or anxiety, there's no telling how wonderful they will become in their achievements. By often silently thinking and meditating on life and its meaning and the beautiful and higher things in life, you will draw to you the life forces of the universe and all the good planetary and solar forces of your sign, which will bring you to the greatest success and complete and perfect happiness. A study of occult science, philosophy, and metaphysical works would be of untold advantage to you. Many of the greatest men and women in the world were born in your sign. This planet's attraction for you is very strong, and you must be very careful to control all your appetites, passions, and desires with an iron will, which you possess and can use, if you see fit to do so. There is scarcely any limit to your powers if you only will exercise your wonderful will intelligently. A happy marriage is essential to the success and happiness of Capricorn people of both sexes. In India, the yogic astrologers say to you people, get married and follow the divine command by raising a family of children. We also are very strict in our advice to Capricorn people that they must love their fellow man and do unto all as they would be done by. The golden rule has been practiced in India for thousands of years before the Christian era. Your sign is governed by Saturn, and you are continually surrounded by planetary forces and solar fluids which can help you. Now, dear friend, be guided by what I say, as I love you dearly and wish to see you make your life a grand success. You can read every word in this book many times to great advantage. A Capricorn person is very foolish to ever doubt his or her ability to succeed. This sign is governed by Saturn, and the gems are white onyx and moonstone. The astral colors are garnet, brown, silver gray, and black. The diseases that you are most likely to suffer from are indigestion and melancholy. You are also given to overwork because of your determination to succeed in whatever you undertake. Your best companions are those born in Taurus, Virgo, and Libra, also those born in your own sign. People born in this sign are usually short of stature and sometimes have dark complexions and hair with remarkably expressive eyes. May the peace and blessings of the Blessed One and all the devas, angels, and all yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Capricorn. Bhakti Siva. Cusps. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign consists of 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Sagittarius through Capricorn, December 21st to 27th. These cuspers are, as a rule, happier than those born in the sign Capricorn. The social and intellectual ambition of Capricorn is modified by the democratic attributes of Sagittarius. The natives of this cusp are among the greatest thinkers of the world. They are natural teachers of the young and are much fonder of children than the average Capricorner. The successful training of musical talent is easily developed by the response of earth to fire and the companionable influence of Jupiter. People born in this cusp are just and kindly, are great observers and fine critics. They do not fall in love easily, and when they marry, it is because of affection. They are exact, methodical, and efficient in all they undertake. They are good dancers, good linguists, and the best of traveling companions. Aquarius. All persons born from January 20th to February 18th, inclusive, were born under the sign of Aquarius. This is the last sign of the air triplicity, and people born under it will do well to give the strictest heed and attention to what I say here. Your strength and power lies wholly within your own hands, and it is very important that you so think and live as to bring out your great possibilities. You must not rely on your friends for help, but must be thoroughly self-reliant, self-supporting, and independent. But you should rely on and pay great attention to the teachings and writings of good and great men and women who are striving to help mankind. You have days of great happiness and days of great misery, and you must learn how to avoid these blue spells and have all of your days bright and happy. This can be done by your understanding once and for all time that you are possessed of unusual powers and abilities. But if you are lazy and blue, you cannot use these powers. Wake up, then, and by your will, throw off all doubts of your ability to make a grand success of life. When you do this, then will come to you great health and wealth, and your rare and natural talents will be amply rewarded. You have wonderful magnetic and hypnotic powers, which you can develop to a very high degree by keeping quiet and calm and free from all worry. As a matter of fact, your planetary and solar forces will carry you through any and all sickness or trouble, if you will only remain quiet and give them a chance to work. But the very moment you begin to doubt, fret, or worry about any good thing coming to you, these forces cannot work. Work, and lots of it, is what you require and have a taste or inclination for. You must not be proud or vain or think too much of yourself. If you do, you will not be as charming as you could be by being quiet and modest. Persons born in your sign have no reason whatever to idly sit about deploring their misfortunes or inability to succeed. For I tell you, positively, you can succeed far beyond your fondest expectations, if you will go about it as directed here and elsewhere in this book. Read this book carefully and thoughtfully many times when you are calm and quiet. Its teachings can direct you to all you desire. People of your sign who worry and fret and become discouraged surround themselves with the repelling forces of the universe, which will cause their friends and acquaintances to dislike them. Indeed, they drive people from them who could be of great assistance when in moody or blue fits. Don't live in the senses too much. Remember, you are not here to eat, drink, and be merry all the time. Realize that you have duties to perform, that God intends each one of his children to do certain work, reap the reward, and be cheerful and happy. Don't be afraid or timid or half-hearted in your undertakings, whether it is in amassing money, making love, or acquiring knowledge. Whatever you attempt to do or desire to become will be accomplished, providing you have full faith in your ability to succeed. You ought to read a great deal of newspapers, magazines, and books. Reading the lives of successful men and women will help you wonderfully. Don't care what people think or say about your actions. Be good and honest and do the very best you can without fear of criticism or without caring what your friends will think about it. Forge ahead with strong will and grim determination to succeed, and your success will be assured. Don't talk at all with your friends about the great things you intend doing. Keep a closed mouth and quietly and intently go about doing your work or carrying out your plans, and then you will succeed. All this advice will apply to social achievements, business success, or love affairs, and is written for both sexes. You can succeed in anything you undertake when once you understand or realize that you must have no fears or doubts about your ability to succeed. Always be careful to think alone over a project, an undertaking, or selection of a calling, and after cool and careful thought. If you arrive at a conclusion, just what you want to do, Go about it without consulting anyone, fully determined you will succeed. Economy and strict application to business is the foundation of all wealth. Pay as you go and keep out of debt. Debt weakens and makes an arrant coward of one born in your sign. Attention to religion and philosophy will be very beneficial to you. Try to feel and realize that there is a great and good God back of everything you see, that this world, this universe, you did not happen by chance. When aroused to spiritual or divine truths, the Aquarius people are marvelous beings. In India, the yogis, who are the most wonderful people in the world, give their whole lives to worship and the service of God. They are mighty workers and do a great amount of good. We say to you of the Aquarius sign, have faith and hope. Be cheerful and happy, and then the good forces, which are the unseen powers, will all work for your good. The devas, angels, of which there are countless numbers, will begin to help you just as soon as you have a sincere desire to be a good or great person. Understand, your great help can come from yourself, and when you arouse your will and spirit, these unseen forces and powers will be at hand to guide and help you. Either sex of this sign ought to make a happy marriage and surround their home with children. By knowing and correcting our faults, we become great. Strenuously strive to go onward, forward, and upward. Be progressive. Don't lag at the tail end of the procession, but be at the head. Cast out of your mind forever all fear, doubt, lack of hope, and thoughts of failure, and your life will be bright and happy. This sign is governed by Saturn and Uranus. The gems are sapphire, opal, and turquoise, and the astral colors are blue, pink, and Nile green. The diseases that you are most likely to suffer from are rheumatism, pains in the head and feet, brain difficulties, low circulation, loss of vital heat, nervous diseases, and gloomy forebodings. Your best companions are those born in Aries, Sagittarius, and Aquarius, and sometimes you would work harmoniously with Libra people. People born in this sign are usually tall, dignified, healthy, robust, and have clear complexions. May the peace and blessings of the Blessed One and all the devas, angels, and all the yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Aquarius. Bhakti Siva. Cusps. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign consists of 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Capricorn through Aquarius. This is the union of two negative signs, the last sign of the air, the last sign of the earth. From a business point, this is said to be the chief cusp for both men and women. The men are cool in their performances and calculations, and are ingenious and are usually exact. The women have a natural gift for business. They can run most any kind of an establishment with ease and success. The pronounced ideas concerning economy ensure people born in this cusp plenty of this world's goods. They are original in their ideas and sometimes exceedingly stubborn. They are spasmodically generous, giving where other people do not give, and withholding where others give. They enjoy philanthropic work, but are liable to tire of it if it interferes with their business.